Okay, so I set up a new one, and let me paste the link to the old uh to the old live chat. This is just YouTube has done a terrible job, I have to say. This is ridiculous. Hmm. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the inconvenience. YouTube's not great. The design is just terrible, I have to say. Handling half live stream works. Oh, this is frustrating. Good morning. Hello, Karan. Am I saying your name correctly? Feel free to correct me in the chat. But yeah, nice to see you. Yeah. How's it going? I'm still trying to figure out a better way to interact with you guys. Because right now it's just I'm talking to the camera and you are typing on the chat. And it's not really in sync, not like an in-person communication. Um, so if you guys have any suggestions of what I can do or should do, feel free to shoot in the chat too. Yeah, I don't know who else is here. Again, you does a terrible job in these kind of UX details. It's not even details. I should know who is watching or how many people are watching so I can address accordingly. But yeah, Karan, if I am saying your name correctly, if you have questions about UX careers, portfolios, resume, cover letters, feel free to shoot the question. I'm here to help everybody out. And you guys can hear me okay, right? Just to double check on the audio issue here. Give me a thumbs up or type in the chat if anything is working properly. And otherwise, I'll be patiently waiting for questions. We have 15 minutes since I have some technical issues with my previous chat setup. Let's go to 10:20. Yeah, so 10:05 to 10:20. That's 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay, cool. So anybody have any questions? Feel free to chat. Feel free to shoot. See. I am just gonna go to the chat emoji box and find random thing to send over. Okay, I see somebody else also joined. Hello there. I don't know who you are. The audience number just increased by another one. Feel free to say hello in the chat and feel free to shoot your design, your UX related question. The weather today seems good here in the Bay Area. Yeah, what else? What else are we talking about here? Oh, hello. Okay, with a new question coming in. So the question is, how would you answer your strength and weakness question? I have a phone chat interview in a few weeks and so nervous. So Pro tip number one: don't get nervous about any questions. Start to feel excited because that emotion will actually help you prepare things better. Because when you're excited about things, your brain start to work and connect more dots overall. And nothing to be worried about and nervous about. You are the king of your life. You have what is the phrase there? Anyways, let's skip that part. Let's the strength and weaknesses. So that is something that really requires you to look into uh, yourself, look into your past, look into your past work, how you work on projects, the outcome of it. So strength could be things like that you really enjoy working on, and because you enjoy working on it, you tend to be good at it. You tend to be better at it than other traits. So let's just use a really simple example. UX is a super broad, super big category. It has like interaction design, the fundamental of UX, information architecture, visual design, motion design, prototyping, and user research. Well, let's just say all five and six of these. Which one are you better at? If you were to rank them, I'm the best at, let's say, oh, motion design. And then the next is prototyping because I use motion design to prototype some ideas. And then probably visual design, and then probably um, interaction, and then UX is the end, is the one that I am the least good at. And if you start to sort through to prioritize all those different traits in the realm of UX design, you will start to see, oh, maybe your strength is in motion design, but your weaknesses will be things like your UX research side. Maybe I'm not good at, just to use me as an example, maybe I'm not great at talking to users. I feel nervous talking to users in person or in video call. Um, it's not a bad thing to have weaknesses. It's merely about you understanding what you are not great at, and you have plans to improve upon it. So maybe you will start to interview more and get yourself more comfortable, get yourself used to the situation. So that's a great thing. And having that rank also, it doesn't mean that that your motion design is completely better than UX design. There could be possible scenario that your motion design is just ever so slightly better than your user research skill set. Maybe everything you have is good. You're just a super well-rounded, a perfect designer. It's just if you have to prioritize them, that is the list you're gonna give them. And that's the strength and the weakness on the UX side of thing. And of course, there are some soft skills that you can also mention. Oh, I'm great at presentation. I can craft a great narrative, a great storytelling that moves people. Or maybe my weakness is about uh, following up with stakeholders, working with PMs and Eng, and but every time you talk about weaknesses, you should also have a plan that you have, and that you can tell your hiring manager or recruiter how you're working towards to um, turning those weaknesses into a strength. So one personal example I had was I was not great at like writing or um, presenting or talking. I was not terrible, but I was not great at it. So I started to read a lot of books, and I did not like to read before, but since I know reading could help me improve those skill set, those areas, and then I decided to take another step and take some approach to address that. Yeah, so that helps answer your question. ID. I'm just reading over the YouTube name. If you have more follow-up questions or if it's not clear, feel free to send it in the chat. I will take the next question from Karan. Why writing case studies is so difficult? Ha, I feel you. I used to feel the same way. There are. I'm assuming you're talking about putting together. Hello, new audience. I see somebody else join as well. I guess by case studies you mean putting together a project in your portfolio. Right? Am I correct? Just feel free to type in the chat. So yes, it could feel overwhelming and difficult at first because you don't really know where to what to aim for, what to aim at, especially if you are new to UX design. That's one thing. Another thing is if you're new, you have no idea what to put in there, how many images to put, right? How much text to write, what's the proportion between them? More images, less images, more text, and within an image, should I put carousel so people can scroll more? How does that work? Should I put prototypes? How much user study should I put? There are a lot of unanswered, unknown questions uh, for 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 beginners there. The third question is, if you're new to it, you probably have not done a lot of it yet. So all the first time doing something is always more challenging than when you are expert in it, when you're doing it more. That's the third thing. And the fourth thing will be actually maybe about a project in itself. There are projects that are harder to write about than the type of project that are harder to write about than another type, just because the nature of it, maybe it's about an enterprise software. By nature, it's more complex. You need to give um, more context, and the context is more difficult because the users is, let's say, not you and me or my mom or my family, but people who work at a company. Is for enterprise, is for engineers in another company, and how those engineers like what are if we have to craft a persona of that engineer, what would that be? It could slightly get more complicated. Maybe the way they write code, maybe the way they review code, maybe the way they work from everywhere. Some of those traits about those users, we don't really directly relate to them. And in order to have a successful case study, you have to write it in a way that it can connect to the reader of your portfolio or your case study really easily. That's also a challenge. Um, yeah, there are also a lot of things like that. Not to say is not doable. Each of those areas there are ways to tackle it. First one being you just have to start writing it and just get over the mental block. Do it, and then once you have decided, you have that mindset, have that drive, you're motivated to do that. Look at some great case studies online. There's one website. Let me see. Yes. There's one website called Best Folios. I talked about it before. Let me put it in the chat. Um, Look at those great case studies, and look at the structure that they have. What do they start with? Probably maybe a hero image and title, and then a snapshot of the project, who you work with, how long is the project, what is the impact of the project, and then problem statement, and then know that there is a structure to it. So once you see the commonality between successful projects, and then you can start to see, oh, okay, you can write it this way. If you don't want to think too much and just want to get something out really quickly, as like the V1, the first version, just find one that you like that looks great, and that maybe have some validation from other places. Bestfolio, they collect good portfolios there, so you can just find one and just copy exactly the structure. If they start with a title, a hero image, start with a title and hero image. If they have 6 pictures, they put 6 pictures. If they have 5 prototypes, put 5 prototypes. Just really easily imitate, copy them. Yeah, you're not really stealing their design. It's not really a design there yet, because if you are motivated to be a great designer, eventually you are going to invent, you're not going to create, you are going to come up with your own structure that you think is the best way to present. So it slowly evolve over time in terms of how you present, but first you have to have something to start with. I personally, how I started was I met a designer who went to University of Washington, and then she internet frog. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Frog design, I want to work there. And so I was looking at her portfolio, how she presented her project. And then I started to do my own project that followed kind of her structure, the flow, um, the content, and amount of elements, the process how she approached, tackled the project. And I did that. I put the long process in my page. And then, you know what? That project ended up being one of the pieces, one of the factors that actually got me my Pinterest internship in 2016. So things clearly worked. So don't get frustrated about case studies. It could be difficult, it could be daunting, it could be overwhelming at the beginning. But get started, imitate something, find a good template, good example um, to follow, and things will start to unfold as you are doing your third project, fifth project, sixth project. Things could come naturally. At the point that when you want to put things together, you will first set up the structure, not even thinking about it. Okay, I need this, I need this, I need this, and then everything you just have to fill in the blanks. And yes, that's my take on the case studies. It's 10:21. Thanks everybody for joining. And before I head off, let me send over some links on the. Oh, hello. Okay, sorry, technical issue again. Let me send over some links that might help your question. So Karan, in my previous videos, I talked about how to write portfolio case studies, and how I got my Pinterest internship. How I let me just find it now. So this one is about Pinterest internship. Take a look at that. I think I outlined how I structure my project. And I also have a whole playlist of how to portfolio. Let me see. Let me see where that is. I have a whole playlist on how to put together a good portfolio, which include how to structure it, how many images to put, how big the images are, and with those guidelines and I guess guidelines, best practice, um, that should give you some idea of portfolio playlist. That should give you some ideas, give you a head start on how you can approach writing your case studies. So this is great. Thanks everybody. Thanks ID. Thanks Karan. Thanks somebody else who is joining the stream. Feel free to send to the chat next time if you want to say hi. Thank you. 10:23. I'm gonna jump. I am going to get some coffee and work on my other projects. Thanks everybody. See you all in the next live stream.